Hello guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Tanna Talk Soccer podcast, and we just saw the debuts of Chelsea's new signings, Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, both German internationals, and I'm here to talk about their debuts briefly, extremely briefly. So make sure you like this video, subscribe, share, and please stay and hear what Tanna has to say. Wow, that rhymes as well. I guess apart from analyzing football, I should also go into full-time rapping. Okay, that's a discussion for another time. So now down to business. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz's debut can be said in just one word: poor. It was poor from the German international. The big money signing, he was really poor today. But this doesn't mean anything at all. Absolutely nothing. It means nothing because Mason Mount was poor. A lot of older players were poor, and once again, this is just one game of football, 90 minutes of football. Every footballer in the world has had an atrocious 90 minutes, has had a very poor 90 minutes. So just a poor 90 minutes never means anything in football. We have to have a much larger sample size. We have to look at a run of games, a lot of games before we can jump into conclusion. And I can see a lot of football fans nowadays, all it takes is one game to say, this player is fantastic, this team is fantastic, this player is going to fail, this team will be very bad. No. Now you can talk about the game. Now you can say this player was bad in the game, just like I have just said. Kai Havertz was absolutely bad. It was a poor performance, nothing performance. You get. But just for this game, I'm not going to tell you, oh wow, I saw Kai Havertz today, so this means it's going to be poor all through Chelsea. This is very, very weak analysis. And for the other player, Timo Werner, it's very simple. Although he didn't see too much of the ball, but he showed what it was about. And anyone who has been following Timo Werner knows what it's about. Space. His pace is electric. His movement is really sharp. And he can really make those, like, he's devastatingly quick. You understand? And he runs into areas. He always chases down. He's a hustler. As I said, he didn't see too much of the ball. But still, he still showed that he can offer a lot in terms of energy and pace to this Chelsea Football Club side. Sorry. So for Frank Lampard, what does he need to do? Does he need to be worried? Absolutely not. Chelsea fans, you do not need to be worried. Absolutely nothing to worry about. This is just one game. Of course, my Twitter timeline is full of football opinions, just football stuff. And I've seen a lot of people already criticizing, a lot of people, especially Kai Havertz, because he came for big money. But I don't think in the clause or when you're buying a big player, or Roman Abramovich or Marina told them, or Frank Lampard, okay, this player, we need him to have a super debut. It's not about this, it's about the long term, and we are going to see what he's going to do against Liverpool next week and the week after that, and after this then I can draw up my conclusion maybe after 2-3 months. And still, he doesn't even have to have a good first season rather. Don't forget, these two players are relatively young, especially Kai Havertz is really young. I'm not quite sure, but I think he's just 20 years old or 21 max, so he's still a really young player. So it doesn't even, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter if he doesn't perform this season, because of course he came for a lot of money, and then this money brings pressure. But like, the money doesn't change his age, doesn't change his development. It doesn't change the fact that he's a young player with a lot to learn still. It doesn't change the fact that he's still a talent who is not yet a world-class player, who still has to improve. So these things like the fees and stuff like this doesn't change the fact, but football fans love to cling on to the fees after a player is bought for a huge amount of money, which is not his fault. It was probably bought for this amount because he showed very promising performances. Good, big ups to the guy. So he needs time, I think. Even after this season is over, I'm not going to stand here and criticize him. Although yes, there will be a bit of criticism, but just for the performances. But I'm not going to give some futuristic performances or say, from some futuristic predictions, or say he's been a failure because he didn't do quite well in his first season. But as I said, we're not even talking about the first season here. We're talking about the first game. Kai Havertz over 10. I'm just going to give him a straight 5. 5. Just because he put in some defensive industry, a couple of runs, at least he showed that heart and will, and he tried. He lost the ball a lot and couldn't do anything going forward, so it was a nothing performance. But I'm going to give him just a flat 5, because, as I said, he showed will and determination. And above all, this is something I love in football. Sometimes it doesn't get going for you. You don't get anything. You don't get the ball. You lose the ball. Your dribbles aren't working. Your goals aren't coming in. The passes aren't connecting. But still, you still put that effort. And this shows a player with the right mindset, that when you're on the pitch, you want to give your absolute best. And I love saying this. So for this, I give him a 5. For Timo Werner, I'm going to give him is 6.8. Reason because he didn't really do much, but he won a penalty and he showed that pace. Or I can even upgrade it to a 7, yes, because he won a penalty, which was decisive in giving Chelsea the result. And for an attacker, really, even when you don't really have a very brilliant all-round game, or like you don't really see a lot of the ball, which a lot of the times it doesn't really mean it's your fault. But in these situations, you can still affect the game or affect the result directly. And Timo Werner did this by winning the penalty thanks to his pace and movement. Once more, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel as we give you our best. Please subscribe, or at least consider subscribing. Do have a nice day. Thank you.
If you truly like football, give us a try and subscribe now. Thank you.